This is the Department of Education. Recently, under Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education, the DOE announced that it will resume collections of its defaulted federal student loan portfolio. In other words, it's going after people who have stopped making student loan payments. The DOE points out that it has not collected on defaulted loans since March 2020. Resuming collections protects taxpayers from shouldering the cost of federal student loans that borrowers willingly undertook to finance their post-secondary education. And the reaction to the Trump administration trying to get people to pay back their student loans was predictable.
Well, they just dropped the student loan bomb. The federal government just announced that it's coming for your loans, and collections begin May 5th for student loan debt. If you're in default, they can garnish your wages, they can take your tax return, and they can even take your benefits like Social Security. And if you still can't pay it and you default, they're gonna send you to collections.
Oh no!
Yeah, you heard that correctly. Student loan borrowers will see Social Security checks, tax refund disappear over defaulted debt. The Trump administration don't give a damn about the millions of Americans who are currently behind on their student loan following the end of the pandemic and all the changes to the loan system.
Are we forgetting that we're in a recession? Are we forgetting that the pandemic is still happening? We're still in a pandemic. COVID didn't just poof disappear. And that the 5 years that has happened where there was forgiveness and pause, whatever, that it just was a fun time.
But for the past 5 years, the majority of borrowers have been in an interest-free forbearance and haven't been required to pay anything. What, are we supposed to extend it to 10 years? 15 years? According to the DOE, more than 5 million borrowers have not made a monthly payment in over 360 days and sit in default, many for more than 7 years, and 4 million borrowers are in late-stage delinquency. As a result, there could be almost 10 million borrowers in default in a few months. When this happens, almost 25% of the federal student loan portfolio will be in default. And all of that is completely unacceptable, right? Right?
The part that behooves me, right? Donald Trump and his administration approved a lot of people getting PPP loans with millions of dollars that forgave them. Not chastising them, saying to repay their loans back.
There are Republican Congress people who owed millions of dollars to the government in the form of PPP loans, but yet he's shaking you down instead.
PPP loans. Great example. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Paycheck Protection Program loans are not remotely comparable to student loans. PPP loans were essentially compensation from the federal government to businesses for shutting down most of the country due to COVID. These loans kept the United States from going into a massive depression, along with avoiding a 40 to 50% unemployment rate. PPP loans were designed to be fully forgiven as long as businesses met certain requirements, like keeping employee counts and employee wages stable. And if they didn't, then they would be obligated to pay it back. On the other hand, there is nothing in a loan agreement that says that if you meet certain requirements, that you don't have to pay it back. So comparing PPP loans with student loans is idiotic.
What about the bankruptcy too? I wonder, the president, I wonder where that money went.
Does anyone else find it odd that people complain about average Americans wanting student loan forgiveness, but then support a billionaire who has had hundreds of millions of loans forgiven and filed 6 bankruptcies?
So Donald Trump has taken out hundreds of millions of loans and has had them all forgiven. Makes sense to me. What's your problem? But you have to love that argument. I shouldn't have to pay my loans back because Orange Man bad. But the reality is, Trump himself has never personally filed for bankruptcy. As PolitiFact pointed out in 2016, Trump has actually filed Chapter 11 6 times. 4 times within 2 years in the 1990s, once more in 2004, and once more in 2009. But experts told us Trump shouldn't bear all the responsibility, as the majority of bankruptcies happened as the overall casino industry struggled. And while 6 bankruptcies might seem like a lot, consider that the Trump Organization owns approximately 500 companies. So in context, it's not really a bad track record.
Breaking news, anyone who has student loans or has applied for federal financial aid is at risk. Look, this isn't alarmist, this is personal to me. I took out over $100,000 of loans to finish law school.
Says the congressman who is worth tens of millions of dollars and has been accused of trying to obfuscate his financials. But it's personal.
For 5 years, there's been a forbearance on student loans. No one has had to pay these loans back to the government if they can't afford it. Donald Trump is changing that.
And that's the point. Millions of borrowers have not had to make a single payment for over 5 years. Also, who's to say that these people can't afford it?
I've been playing a Catch Me If You Can game with them student loans for a very long time. So I'm still going to continue to play that same game after May 5th. I don't know who these people think they are trying to take money back for a degree. Like, I'd understand if I owed something for something serious. A degree? You want me to pay you for me being an educated, upstanding individual in the society? I need to now pay you because I'm intelligent and a great civilian? Please.
Girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it, girl. I was just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.
If you're ordering luxury desserts from Magnolia Bakery instead of making loan payments, it means that you can make loan payments. You're just choosing not to.
Our taste is coming tomorrow. Our taste is coming tomorrow. Baby, we rich.
2 months later.
I owe about $150,000 in student loans. I got 2 degrees. I got a bachelor's in biology and I got a master's in secondary education with an endorsement in clinical mental health counseling, right? After being out of school for 4 years, you mean to tell me y'all finna garnish my check? Them loans been in deferment for 4 years, and I plan on keeping them in deferment. I ain't got it. Baby, we rich.
I'm not paying back my student loans. I do not care. Oh, but what about your credit score? What am I going to do with a good credit score? Buy a house on starvation wages? Buy a car I can't afford to insure? I'm not paying him back. I don't give a about my credit score.
What is he going to do when I file for forbearance? If I file for bankruptcy?
A forbearance just means that you don't have to make payments for a certain amount of time, but your interest is still going to accrue. And yes, you can declare bankruptcy, but the chances of it eliminating your student debt is slim to none.
You gotta be a special kind of dumb and a special kind of bootlicker to want repayment of these student loans to take into effect. Y'all are pieces of shit. There's no redeeming qualities in you at all. All it sounds like to me is that you were too dumb to go to college, and you think that because someone did go to college, they think they're better than you, and now you want them to suffer. You guys are losers.
You f***ers that keep saying, why should my tax dollars pay for other people's student loans? One, go yourself. If your tax dollars did pay for student loans, it's because you're investing in society as a whole. A rising tide lifts all boats. The smarter that people are, the better off all of us are.
Except the smarter people can't seem to figure out how to pay back a loan, so there's that.
All right, if you want to get your student loans forgiven, listen up, because this is exactly what you're going to do. So while you were asleep, Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency accessed your student loans without your permission. And in a court of law, that is a breach of privacy. So we're going to get these student loans wiped out because I don't trust what that person who has no authorization to view my stuff is doing.
Now let's watch one of the smarter people how you can get your student loan forgiven by using this one simple trick.
All right, so here's exactly what you're going to say, honey. My personal and financial information was compromised without my authorization.
The Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, protects the confidentiality of student records. This breach is a clear violation of FERPA and your responsibility to safeguard my information. Given the severity of this breach and resulting compromise to my personal and financial information, I request that you immediately cancel and discharge my student loan debt. You have 5 business days.
Wow, all I have to do is write a strongly worded letter? Can't believe how easy it is to get your student loans forgiven. Thanks, Elon Musk.
President Trump has abolished the Department of Education, and the promissory notes are nowhere to be found.
What?
I made this very simple for everyone. If you go to the link in my profile, you're going to see where it says, buy me a coffee. The letters are going to be right there for you to use.
Just remember, folks, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. According to PolitiFact, they labeled the claims in these videos as false, saying, don't trust videos saying you can erase your student loans by filing a student privacy law complaint. And yet, it seems that over 10,000 of the smarter people among us fell for this con artist scam and paid him $5 to get access to useless complaint letter templates that will have absolutely no bearing whatsoever on their federal student loan status.
Elon Musk just made a massive mistake, and as a result of this mistake, people are getting their student loans forgiven and removed off of their credit report. I'm gonna show you how. Buy me a coffee.
Anyway, I'm gonna end this video with a voice of reason.
If people are taking large amounts of money for student loans without having any way to pay them back, that is a problem. I don't think taxpayers should have to eat the cost for student loan debt. I don't. I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. I took out loans. I paid my loans back. That is what one does when they are fiscally responsible.
Anyway, that's it for now. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is next time.